Okay, I think that we can start. So let me switch my screen to my computer. And today I will have some problems with manipulating everything because I have many cameras and many different situations to cover here, but I hope that it will work without too much problems. So right now you can see me here in Unity, and here I'm actually using my my plugin. Of course, you will see that there is some how to say delay, latency when I'm speaking, but we will tackle this later on. Yeah, so this is something that can be done in Unity, and I will try to explain what is going on here and what are we trying to do actually. So when I was working at some of my virtual productions, I had a problem. Biggest problem is that when you're working with chroma keying or yeah, with my Deckard chroma key or something else, like having many inputs, many cameras, it can be quite nasty and difficult to manage all those cameras, because each camera goes into one capture card, or many cameras go to one capture card if you have, for example, something like a Decklink, those with 4 inputs. But when you have to deal with that many streams, like video streams in real time in your software, in Unity, for example, it can become really intensive on a performance. So what you want to do is like use one camera, one capture input and maybe many cameras. So here you can see that I have a scene in the Unity, but as I switch, I have to switch here to Unity. As I switch those inputs, they're automatically changing. And I'm connecting actually everything through ATEM Mini Extreme or ATEM Mini Pro or ATEM Mini. It doesn't, there is no big difference on that. Like, why it's good? Because ATEM series of switchers have one single output, so I can output one signal into a computer and let it behave like a webcam. But there was a problem, like how to switch those cameras and how to inform Unity that you are switching each camera. So I have tried to implement this simple task into one simple script, two simple scripts that can communicate with ATEM Mini or ATEM line of switchers. So you can go from ATEM Mini basic one to an ATEM studio kind of switchers. But one of the biggest problems is that I will show you here. So fortunately, Blackmagic has a good politics of giving SDKs to all users, so you can just download some of their scripts, and it becomes pretty easy to implement this task into Unity. But you will see right now that, for example, yeah, I will show you here in this example. When I'm switching, and I'm turning right now this compensating latency that is a part of my plugin. When I'm switching inputs, you can see that there is a switching between virtual camera and real camera aren't synchronized. So you can see that this switching happens with some delay. So what I wanted to do is just, I have created this part of a script that practically analyzes image that comes from a USB device and then switches automatically without without actually knowing, without actually giving this error, this problem. And yeah, I will show you how to use this script in short. Let me just create a new scene. I will save just this scene because this was a scene for my experimentations. So I will create new scene. Right now I'm working in HDRP, so I'll be using just basic indoors. Say HDRP scene, create, and let's call this ATEM mini test. Okay, save. And now we can try to work on it a little bit. So once you download my package that I will be placing here another time. Let me just check here. Okay, I will be sharing it here again. So if you download it, you will get a new folder here that is called ATEM, and inside of this ATEM plugin you can find this ATEM manager. So it's enough to drop ATEM manager into your scene, and you will see here right now that we have this kind of a script. One is for opening webcam. In this case, I will open, yeah. Right now, it isn't that important. I'll show you. Yeah. So this part of a script practically manages a render texture that has a video in another way, because I can also use here my Deckard render, and I will use it like this: Deckard chroma key HDRP, add this one and say that it wait a second, I'm not showing. I said that this uses a render texture, and I will just assign this render buffer, webcam buffer here. Okay, so right now you can see my image, my stream. Okay. So let's create here another 3D object, quad, assign this screen material. Okay, so I'm here already. Yeah, I have made really big mistake of 16 per 9. Let's set this one to 16 per 9 and then just scale it down. So right now we have my image here. So this is my stream right now in real time, and you can see that I can change here different views Let's change this field of view to something like this, and then I will try to do another interesting thing. Set this to stay static. Okay. Then let's say that this material is use emission intensity. Okay. No, sorry. For this quad, let's go here. Set this use emission intensity, so I can just control here some of intensity. So let's try to make a simple scene. So you can see right now that if I just change here my inputs, it switches from one image to another. Okay. But also, what is the nice thing about this type of thing is that in ATEM Manager you will see that we have many scenes. So what is actually the idea? For example, if I switch between each camera, this thing activates each scene. Okay, right now I have only 3 cameras attached to my system. Oh, but yeah, but when I switch, I can just do things like that. Why I made this? So I can actually create here a new game object. Let's call it Cinemachine Virtual Camera. So here, for example, I can just use Cinemachine. If you know, if you're familiar with Cinemachine, you have to download it from Package Manager, and then just rotate this camera, like for example, like something like this. Okay, yeah. I will just place it somewhere in a scene, something like that. Let's go and move it down. Fix it. Okay. Let's say that we have something like this, or maybe I don't want to make something that extreme. For first view, something like this, and then just place it on a global world. Yeah, scale axis. Okay, okay. So something like this. Okay, so I have this one. So I can just place this my virtual camera here. Then I just duplicate this virtual camera, for example, and place it in a scene 2. Why I'm doing this? Because at this moment I can just switch between 2 scenes. You will see that this activates actually my second virtual camera. So I can, for example, use this one like this. And you can immediately see what is going on. So I can change easily different scenes, or I could I don't know, for example, place here yeah, no, okay, let's duplicate this one and place it in the 3rd scene. Okay, then switch to a 3rd scene. So yeah, and move this camera a little bit, something like that. And this could be also maybe my virtual camera, like something that is happening. So here, for example, I want to add let's try here. I have some in my scenes, I have some assets. One of those are text, yeah, camera. Oh yeah, this text. No, yeah, okay. I'll put this one. And it's enough just to drag it into a scene 3. So right now let's say we have a scene where we want to have some kind of a text that that almost looks like if it's in a scene. Oh yeah, this is cool. I like this one, very pretty. It wasn't my intention to make it like this, but you say that it. Okay. So imagine that we have something like that. This one. So when I'm just switching these cameras, you can see right now that everything that is a parent of this object, scene 3, can become a part of this scene. So, for example, when you're doing some live kind of live streaming, you could have these effects, or I could eventually add some scripts of animation to this, to those letters. Like, okay, yeah, of course my shadows aren't perfect, but actually I think that it works actually pretty. Yeah, let's change this. So this gives us simply a possibility to use different angles and switch those objects. Let's duplicate this one, and let's say we want to put, no, wait a second. Okay, we have this scene. Okay, so probably we should put it here in this scene, because we had in another scene that camera object that was exiting somewhere there. We can put it also here. It's just an how to say, camera, yeah, something like this. It's just an idea, it's nothing. You see, and you will see that all those switchings are almost perfect. Yeah. Apart from a refraction that has some kind of a delay, but in that case we should use just ray tracing maybe, or something like that. So I think that yeah, and these are original scenes, so we can switch from original to this kind. Okay, let's see how it works on a full screen. Okay, so duck. Okay, here we have some animation that I know this is animation that that does a blending between different cameras. So Cinemachine cameras, because they have blend time. But yeah, I would say that it's in some cases of a live production could be pretty interesting thing. So what I could say, just this default blend is just cut. Okay, so in Cinemachine, when you set this to a cut, then it does like this. Okay, when you set it to easy, ease out, okay, you will have this kind of a blend. Let me say that also another thing that we could do is do also this kind of transition on the ATEM, but yeah, for some kind of effects it could be okay, but mostly you want to like use this kind of Let's try linear. Okay, it's linear. But actually, most of you would want to use this completely fixed way of working. And of course, and we can just change like something here. Speed, tack. Okay, let's say like this. Okay, so we have another thing that is pretty important here, and this is this compensate latency. If you want to use, for example, this kind of smooth transitions, you don't want to use compensate latency. You want to use this automatic. You can see right now that yeah, for this type of things. Okay, so another problem here right now that you can see that my speech is I think yeah, it is a little bit in, it has a latency. So you can see here that we have this kind of we have here this kind of ATEM in, ATEM 2, ATEM 3. Yeah, let's just check this before we start working with this. Let's go to main camera and set late fixed update. No, sorry, late update easy cut. Okay, because this is a default behavior that we want to have. Okay, so let's say that we have here, we can calculate this latency between a key press, and you will see that this latency isn't actually really stable. You can see it here, 1.5. This is 4 frames. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5 frames, but it's around 4 or because it's mostly about 4 to 3 frames. Okay. So one of the things that are interesting in the ATEM software, I can just go here and set up audio. Let me see here. Okay, and you will see that where I have here microphone, I can set up this latency. So it's like, okay, here I am at 4 frames. Okay. So right now, when I speak, it should be correct, more or less. So this is a good way also to understand this type of latency. Let me just check here. Yeah, for me it's a little bit difficult to understand and also to hear everything with a delay. But yeah, so this is a, it should be okay. Maybe we could just go 3 or 4 frames of delay. Maybe just a sec. No. Okay, I can just go. Oh, no, probably it's more like a 4. So when I switch here, you will see that, yeah, it's a 4 frame delay. It should be okay. I will have to check this yet, but I think that it works perfectly. Another thing that we have here, you will see that why this is important, like a plugin, because this switcher has a possibility of seeing how to say a time code. So you will see right now if I sorry, yeah, I was showing that wrongly because I wasn't on the right screen. Okay, so let me just check this one again. Camera, audio. So yeah, I was setting this delay here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so delay is here in the camera that you saw already, but right now you will see that it should be more or less correct. Of course, sometimes unfortunately with USB devices this timing fluctuates always a little bit more as we are not gen locked. So yeah, but I think this calculation should be working pretty. Oh no, sorry. Okay, so yeah, I was using a camera that had a latency, big latency, because this camera that I'm using here is Blackmagic. This one is an Nikon, but it has a really large latency by itself, so this doesn't have anything to do with the feed, so it's impossible to correct on that one. But actually I could correct because I could set always, also with my software probably, to send those latencies. And this is also Blackmagic, so this also should be correct on the 4 frames. Let me just check. Okay, yeah, it works. So let me see if we go back here. Okay, where was my desktop? Okay, yeah, this is my desktop. And let me check. Okay, so you can see right now we have a pretty stable this kind of switching. We have this compensation of latency. You will see that this is ugly. Well, it can be used also as an effect, but it's not a perfect situation. So compensate latency, and also we have this max allowed latency. Why this is here? Because sometimes, like when switching from similar content, you will see that when I switch to a black, it gives me a wrong latency. So I can set here that it is more or less like it is here. So this is like 1, 2, 1, 2, yeah, something like 15. What is max latency? I will make this as a automatic value. I plan to make it as an automatic value. Okay. So we have this, and then we have the where our third. Okay. And yes, and also what we can do here is, for example, if we are using, in this case I'm using like ATEM manager. Okay, If I want to use, for example, Deckard chroma here, I could just do also some chroma key. Yeah, and this is something that is pretty interesting. Okay, I would just turn right off this latency because I wanted to speak here. Let me just check this. So the thing also about most of these plugins is that I don't have to be in the play mode. Right now I was in play mode, but as you probably know, like making changes in the play mode is sometimes a pretty slow thing to do. So right now I can just go here and change all the settings. Automatically. And this is, okay, here we have this scene array that is actually an array of scenes that can be used for this. Like you can just customize. So there go from ATEM 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, you won't be able to use all those scenes, for example, in ATEM Mini or Mini Pro, but you can use ATEM 8 cameras in ATEM Mini Extreme switcher. So yeah, I think that this is mostly everything. So if there are some questions, I'm here, but I think that at the moment there aren't any. Okay, thank you guys. I hope that you like this stream, and yeah, have fun with this, with my plugin, and I will try to make a new to add some new versions to this plugin, some more stable, as I'm still in a preview mode. Thank you and bye bye.